Welcome back to the Motivated Mind Zone. So, if you're learning English, you're going to want to listen closely. We've basically got a massive shortcut for you today.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
We have a source stack that really zeroes in on, well, the most common topic for any new conversation,
Yeah.
your daily life. It just breaks it all down.
Right, into the core verbs and phrases you actually need.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is pretty straightforward. We're going to give you a complete vocabulary map of a typical day, from the moment the sun comes up to when you hit the pillow.
And this is truly foundational stuff. We're talking, A1 level. But the thing is, its value is immediate. It's so applicable.
How so?
Well, when you can talk about your own day, your own actions, it's a huge confidence booster. And that's like the key to building conversational fluency. We're not just going to read you a list.
Right.
We're going to analyze why these specific verbs are used, the context they live in. This is basically a toolkit you can start using the second this is over.
I love that, a toolkit. Okay, so we're going to walk through the day chronologically. We'll start with the morning, then we'll get into the work and lunch part of the day, and then finally unwind with the evening and night.
Sounds like a plan.
So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in, the very beginning of the day.
Yeah, it's fascinating how English just, captures that transition from being asleep to being active so efficiently.
It all kicks off with one simple verb, right? Waking up.
Waking up.
And our sources actually detail a couple of different habits. One person wakes up around 7:00 a.m., but the other one starts way earlier, closer to 6:30 a.m.
Right, and they get a great label for it.
Oh, yeah, the source calls them an early bird, which is such a perfect idiom to pick up right at the start of the day.
It is. It's a great example of efficient language. Now, it's interesting because linguistically, waking up is kind of passive. It's just what happens when your eyes open. The next action, the active one, is maybe even more important for beginners.
Which is get up.
Exactly. Get up.
Yeah, that distinction is really key. You can wake up, but then, just lie there for 20 minutes on your phone.
Precisely. So once you get up, or even more specifically, get out of bed, that's a really crucial phrasal verb, your day has officially started.
English loves those get phrases, doesn't it?
It really does. And if you think about the action, escaping the covers, standing up, it's just so much easier to use the phrase get out of bed than to try and find some other single word for it.
Okay, so you've made the mandatory escape from the covers. Where do you go next?
The next universal step in all the routines we saw was go to the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And once there, you get two of the most common hygiene actions: brush my teeth and wash my face. Just simple, direct, and they were in every single routine we looked at.
And it's worth pointing out that if you're speaking English, these are the phrases to use. You don't really hear people say, I clean my teeth.
No, you don't.
It's almost always brush my teeth. Focusing on that specific phrase is like a perfect shortcut to sounding more natural.
Absolutely. So once you're ready, the next mission for everyone in the source material is, fuel.
Breakfast.
Straight to the kitchen. And here the verbs shift from personal hygiene to preparation and eating.
And the main action verb here is make breakfast. I thought the examples in the sources were great, really simple, good for practicing food vocabulary.
I mean, they were. We had coffee and toast, sometimes with fruit, like a banana or an apple.
Or tea and cereal.
Right, the other classic combo. But the important takeaway is the difference between make breakfast and have breakfast. Make is the cooking, is the eating. You need both, and you often use them right after each other.
Okay, so this is where we shift from the private morning routine to, getting ready for the outside world. After breakfast, we hit another essential get verb, get dressed.
A really important one. A lot of learners get a little confused by it.
But the definition in the material was perfect. It just means put on your clothes. It's such an efficient way to say it.
It really is. And then if you're going out, you add more context. You move from clothes to accessories, protection from the weather. And that brings in the verb put on.
Right. You put on shoes.
You put on a coat. Notice how many of these key actions use a phrasal verb with put or get. Mastering just those two is like a huge step toward fluency.
So once you're fully dressed and ready, the morning routine ends with leave the house
Which then signals the next transition.
to go to work. And this is where our sources split a little bit, which is great. It gives us two different paths to look at.
Yeah.
The person who goes to an office and the one who sometimes works from home.
And having both of those gives you, the learner, so much more vocabulary to work with. You're covered no matter your situation.
Let's dig into that. Let's start with the office worker. What are the key verbs there?
Okay, so the office setting gives us a really clear set of actions. The foundation is sit at my desk and work on my computer.
Pretty standard.
Right. But the specific verbs for what you're doing are what's important: to answer emails and to write reports.
That's interesting. For write reports, do the sources mention any alternatives? Like in a professional setting, I might say, I'm drafting a report.
That's a great point. And yes, as you get more advanced, you might use draft a report or put together a report. But for this foundational A1 level, write reports is the perfect, simple entry point.
Got it.
And crucially, they also highlight have meetings. That's a perfect collocation. We don't say make a meeting or do a meeting. We have meetings.
And the sources defined it so simply, just when people get together to talk about work. It's a very reusable phrase.
Now let's switch to the remote worker. Their day starts pretty much the same. Sit at my desk, use my computer. But their output, their tasks, are a bit different.
What do they have?
Things like write articles or prepare lessons. And they also use the key phrase online meetings, which is obviously essential vocabulary for today.
So what stands out to me is that the core action is the same. Sitting at a desk, writing. But the noun you plug in changes with the job. So for you, the learner, the insight is learn the core verb, like write, and then you can just plug in whatever noun fits your life. Report, article, email, lesson. It's like modular vocabulary building.
That's a perfect way to describe it. And speaking of modules, every routine, no matter where you work, hits a midpoint.
Lunchtime.
Have lunch. And the examples I gave were for, something light. A sandwich, a salad.
And we get another great contrast here. One person brings their lunch from home.
Which implies actions like pack a lunch or make lunch earlier in the day.
Right. And the other person sometimes uses the phrase go out to eat.
Which is a perfect linguistic fork in the road. Are you making it, bringing it, or are you using that phrasal verb, go out to eat? All super common high-frequency options.
And once that's over, the phrase is simple. Go back to work until the end of the day.
And then comes the best part of the workday.
The end of it. That feeling when you get to finally go home. I think the source even mentioned that's a great feeling.
It really is. It signals that shift from work mode to relaxation mode. And the immediate actions when you get home are all about de-stressing.
Let me guess. Relax on the sofa.
You got it. Relax on the sofa and watch TV. That sequence is like the universal signal for winding down.
Okay, then it's time to eat again. The next big verb to master is cook dinner.
Yep. And the examples were great. Cooking pasta, making a simple soup. Very relatable. But they also included the phrase, try new recipes.
Which is great for talking about hobbies.
For sure. And after dinner comes the obligatory chore.
Oh, here we go. The dreaded task.
Wash the dishes. And I love that the source material had this little moment of personality saying, it's not my favorite activity, but it has to be done.
That's such a great little nugget for learners. Don't just say what you do, say how you feel about it. That's real conversation.
Absolutely. Once that's done, we move into evening downtime, the real relaxation.
What are the key verbs here?
The sources list a few great ones. You can read a book, or you can do something more social like talk to my family or friends.
Mm-hmm.
They also mention go for a walk, and they add that it's good exercise, so you get the action and the benefit. And finally, the classic, listen to music, often something relaxing.
I like how those options cover both Internal activities like reading and external ones like talking to family. A good speaker can describe both.
Exactly. And that whole collection of verbs pretty much covers your entire leisure landscape. Then we just have the final bookend actions to wrap up the whole day,
Right before bed, you have to brush my teeth again.
which the sources call a good habit.
And then the final verb that resets the whole cycle, go to bed.
And again, the sources are specific with times, 10.30 or 11.00, sometimes a little later, maybe 11.30. So you get the action and you get the time context.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway, the synthesis here?
So what is that we've mapped a complete narrative. You haven't just memorized a list of verbs. By going through this, you've internalized the actual structure of a day in English.
You covered all the bases. Action, work, hygiene, relaxation.
Everything. It's the core vocabulary that most beginners need, like right now.
So let's do a quick review of the absolute must-knows. For the morning, you have to master wake up, get out of bed, get dressed, make breakfast.
Right. For work and all the transitions, you need to focus on go to work, sit at my desk, answer emails, have lunch, go home. Those are the real pivot points of your day.
And for the evening, these are the verbs that define your downtime. Relax, watch TV, cook dinner, wash the dishes, and finally, go to bed.
Those are it. If you know those, you can describe your life.
So what's the practical advice from the sources on how to actually get fluent with this?
Okay, number one, and this is the most important. Use these phrases to talk about your own day. Narrate your life. As you're doing things, say them in English. That's how you internalize the rhythm.
That's great advice. What's number two?
A simple one. Write it down. The physical act of writing helps connect the vocabulary to your memory. It's more effective than just reading.
And the last one?
The last one is just a reminder to be patient with yourself. You know, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. You have to celebrate your progress. Even just mastering a tricky phrasal verb like get out of bed. That's a win.
It really is. So this organized vocabulary really is a toolkit. It's the shortcut to start describing your world in English like today.
And now that you have this foundation, what you do, the next step is to add adverbs to describe how you do these things.
Ooh, I like that. That's how you add personality.
That's how you expand your expressive range. So instead of just, I wake up, maybe it's, I wake up groggily, or I wake up quickly.
That's a fantastic challenge. Let's take that final action we talked about. Go to bed. Try to find 3 different ways to modify it this week.
Exactly. Do you go to bed early? Do you go to bed reluctantly?
Do you go to bed exhausted?
Right. It instantly adds so much more texture and detail to the phrases you just mastered today.
It turns a simple statement into a story.
And that's what conversation is all about.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the daily routine. We really encourage you to apply this knowledge immediately. Narrate your day in English, starting right now. Until next time, keep practicing.